Think of all the pictures and videos you've uploaded and sent and the online content you've consumed since the internet became mainstream. Indeed, our digital universe continues to expand by leaps and bounds every day. According to a 2008 study by the International Data Corporation, the total amount of digital information last year amounted to a mind-boggling 487 billion gigabytes. As with previous years, most of that growth is driven by individual consumers as the internet becomes more integrated into our daily lives. And joining us this morning to help us make sense of what these all mean is Ronnie Latinazo, Country Manager of technology company EMC Philippines. Good morning, Ronnie. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you.
Very interesting numbers. You don't think about it. It just dawns on you, like how we were comparing it just earlier to the carbon footprint. We have such a thing as a digital footprint. So, what is the purpose of the whole study? Why did you guys commission this study? And what does it?
There were several reasons for doing it. One, of course, is it helps us in our R&D. What's happening to the market? What's the trend? But at the same time, it helps us make the consumers aware of what are the trends and what are the challenges and opportunities that are coming into the market.
And what did you find significant about it, aside from the ginormous number? I mean, that right away just really jumps out at you.
Well, the size is one thing, no? But what's interesting is this particular update of the study was made looking at how digital growth or the digital universe continued to grow, whether it grew or not, amidst the economic crisis.
Right, okay. What was the time frame of the study?
This one is specifically looking at 2008.
Okay.
And the next 4 years, what's going to happen, what's the trend in the next 4 years. What's interesting in the study is the fact that despite the economic crisis, the study showed that the digital universe continued to grow. In fact, it's estimated to grow or double in the next 18 months.
Wow.
And the next 4 years, it's supposed to grow fivefold. No?
Wow. Okay.
So it's going to grow exponentially.
Right.
In fact, you can say it's going to explode. Right.
Yeah. But so the interesting thing here is on the side of the industry, they should be aware of these numbers and these trends because they're the ones who are going to provide the hardware that can support this.
Well, you're right. It has the study and the findings have profound implications to various organizations and people. For one, from a society standpoint, you need to recognize that the individual has turned into a publisher.
Right.
Today we are able to put content into the net.
Correct.
Take photos, you take videos, amount of video you see in YouTube, the amount of photos you see in Facebook, for example, are all brought about by the common citizen. Right. One of the things that the study also found out was the fact that while 70% of new digital information created in a particular year, which makes up the digital universe, is accounted for by the individual, the corporations and the organizations will account for 85% in terms of managing this information. So if you look at that, this poses huge challenges as well as opportunities for organizations, depending on how they see, manage, and tackle the growth of information.
One challenge I see, correct me if I'm wrong, is that the trend is there. The trend has been predicted it will double in 18 months, and when you do that, again, going back to the comparison of carbon footprint, when you expel carbon, you actually spend money. But this time, when you make digital data, you don't necessarily have to spend so much money as a user, because you could have your old PC, you don't have to buy a new one, you're still using your unlimited DSL account, and the amount of data that I put out, I don't have to put out pesos for it. On the other hand, the hardware will still need to be put up there as servers, as databases by the industry. So where's the balance? Where will they get the money?
Which actually brings about one of the challenges. No? I mentioned earlier, digital universe will grow fivefold or a factor of 5. On the other hand, the study estimates that IT spending and the skills or the people that will be thrown in or deployed to manage and store this information will only grow by a factor of 1.2
so
to
even the
1.1.
skills are of the manpower is a problem.
So you will see that through the years, there will be a larger divide between the information that needs to be managed and the amount of resources deployed to manage it.
Right.
And so that tells you that just doing or continuing what you do today will not allow you to keep up with the growth of information.
Right.
IT professionals will be faced with the challenge of doing more with less.
So do you think this is also a bit of a wake-up call to the education sector of different continents around the world that they need to provide? I mean, I don't know if you saw that video, the Did You Know video, all those major statistics. They even said something like the graduates of courses 20 years ago are not the one in top demand now, because the trends of workforce today are so different. And as you're saying, you know, they might not be enough to suffice the demand for that kind of workforce.
That's one thing, and that's one of the challenges faced by the society as well as the IT organizations. How do you train enough people to keep pace with the growth? No, but another finding that the study demonstrated or indicated was the type of information that's going to grow. What's going to drive it? And there were three main types that seem to lead in terms of driving this growth. One is the increased proliferation of mobile devices. No? And it's estimated that it's going to grow 3 times in the next 4 years. You know that we don't discard our cell phones. We actually just cascade them to our relatives and friends and house help, right?
And from first world country to third world country.
And
that happens.
Same thing, right? So that's one. You have your PDAs with you. And the second one is the growth of non-traditional devices. No? It's talking about GPS navigation systems, wireless meters, and that's going to also help boost the growth of information. But the biggest factor that they see boosting the growth of information is the usage of an interaction of people. No?
The social networking.
These are the social networking, online transactions, email, YM, instant messaging. All these will drive the growth of information. In fact, it's estimated to grow by a factor of 8 in the next 4 years.
Did they even put into account the way, because you're talking about video and pictures that really eat up a bulk of the data, and they're growing quickly because you're seeing the growth from standard definition to high definition video, from the old 3 megapixel camera standard. Now they have 8 and 10 and 12 megapixel cameras. So I mean, the amount of pictures as items per se may still be there, but they're getting heavier because of the data type.
So it's not only the type, it's also the form, the form factor of the type of information.